Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining me. So, this is my impressions. I'm going to talk a little bit about my predictions for October. Thank you for hanging out with me. If you could like and subscribe to this stream, I'd be very, very appreciative. So, as many of you know, I'm a professionally trained remote viewer in a technique known as heart-centered remote viewing. It's a specialized form of remote viewing that uses empathy and compassion in order to connect with the environment, fellow human beings, etc. And one of the things that I tried to do looking forward for the month of October was to stand back and look at the globe objectively and to try and look at things from a distance without putting any kind of an emotional spin on things. And the first thing that I went into was Hurricane Helene, and the fact that I think it's something like the second worst environmental catastrophe of this type in American history, next to Katrina. So it's a very, very serious disaster that has happened. And as I meditated on Hurricane Helene, I felt the suffering of the people. And when I expanded my view of the country, I saw the suffering of people in America, and then I expanded to the rest of the world, and I saw the suffering of the world. And what I took away from this first meditation was that together we stand and divided we fall. That part of the problem with human beings right now is that we are too divided. And we aren't working together to save the planet in ways that we need to. And we aren't working together to help one another. That what we really need to do in October, and we need to shift in this direction, is we have to begin to really help each other. And that has to transcend politics. It has to transcend politics and any preconceived ideas we have about each other. What can we do to save the planet? What can we do to help our fellow human beings that are suffering? If we are truly worried about the future, then every act of compassion and empathy we show each other, those of us who are in need, is the best thing that we could do to solidify our futures going forward. I think we're too wrapped up in politics and not enough into just hands-on helping each other. And this is a fun channel where we do talk about politics, but sometimes we miss the forest through the trees in the sense that we all are too divided by politics and not unified enough by our humanity. Doesn't matter whether you're a Democrat, Republican, Independent. What are you doing to help right now? What are you doing? What are you personally doing to help clean up the mess? That is what we all have to ask ourselves. Have you reached out and helped somebody in need? So this is the first thing that I feel in October, is that our hearts need to be open, and we need to get past judgment and get past this fighting if we are going to save ourselves, and think in terms of what do we need to do to help. and to come together and to help. I think that that is more transformative of anything, is a determination by all of us to reach out and help. So this was my first hit for tonight. And I really tried to the best of my ability to be as objective, what is best for the planet, what is best for us. And it is to transcend the politics and to simply think in terms of what can we do to help? What can we do to help? Now, when you go into certain personalities, I did tune in a little bit with Donald Trump, and it was interesting because I felt as Donald Trump, in the wake of everything that's going on, I felt like an animal that was cornered, in the sense that he has all these lawsuits that are going on, criminal investigations that are going on, and he owes millions, hundreds of millions of dollars. And so understandably, if everyone is coming after you and you owe, a couple hundred million here, a couple hundred million there, here, there, and everywhere, most of us in that situation would feel like a cornered, trapped animal. We would begin to growl. And I found myself kind of almost growling from the pressure. It's a lot of pressure on him because of the money he owes, the legal issues coming up, and I found myself biting back like a trapped wolf who's biting back. And I've seen this imagery before when I've meditated on Trump. I think it's going to be a problem for him going forward. I think that there is an underlying feeling that he cannot escape this, and it creates a feeling of being cornered. The next thing I looked at for October was I looked at the Middle Eastern situation and what's going on, the conflict between Iran, the United States, Israel, the fact that they were bombing via northern Syria. We've talked about the fact that Trump began to pull U.S. troops out of Iraq and northern Syria. The fact that it was a terrible idea because it put the entire region in an unstable situation. We didn't protect our trade routes. And so for that reason, the whole entire area has begun to be destabilized. The fact that he got out of the Iran deal, and now Iran is a couple weeks away from a nuclear weapon. But the other thing that I feel is that Iran is afraid to have a direct conflict with Israel. It's always through a proxy army like Hezbollah or Fatah or some other army that they're handing money to, because at the heart of it, Iran is a coward. And Hanuman is the leader, the religious leader of Iran, is in hiding. He's gone into a bunker. And so I tried to the best of my ability to put myself in the shoes of the supreme leader of Iran. And I found myself not only frightened for my safety, but beginning to fear that I could not trust the people who had been placed in the position of protecting me. His own guards wanting to kill him. His own protectors possibly being his assassins, just like it came out that it was the Iranian guard that killed the head of Hamas. So it's not just that the supreme leader of Iran is in a bunker, hiding, scared, because he's a coward and he sent other people to go and do his dirty work. It's the fact that he is hiding in the bunker with his with Iranian leadership and nobody knows who they can trust. Because there are snakes amongst them. And that's a terrifying feeling when you don't even know who you can trust. You don't even know who's working for the Israelis and the Americans in the CIA. We're very close to seeing a toppling of Iranian leadership. It would take one missile strike, or if they were all, it would be very unwise for all of Iranian leadership to be hiding out in the same location, given this type of energy that I'm picking up from Iran. The second thing I looked at was the instability in Iraq, and the fact that Iraq is looking for economic ways to further themselves. They want to get ahead. They want to rebuild their country post Saddam Hussein. They're looking at possibly developing a relationship with Iran. What can America do in order to quell some of the tensions? And it felt to me like America never really had a Marshall Plan for the Middle East. They never really had a Marshall Plan to ensure that there was no hostilities. We simply went into these areas, demolished them, demolished Libya, took out leadership in those areas, secular leadership, and it was replaced with Muslim extremist groups fighting for power. And it created a lot of instability in the Middle East. If America wants to diffuse some of this, one of the ways they can do it is by opening up business and trade and positive, friendly relations with Iraq and wanting a new deal. That was the past. How do we go forward? How do we go forward and work to ensure that Iraq has a great future, that Libya has a great future? How can we help create a beautiful world for the people in these countries? If America focuses on a Marshall Plan and coming back to those areas to secure them with an intent to help the people and help their economy thrive, we could see a changing landscape in the Middle East that's headed towards a positive direction. And the last thing that I would say is that while I don't know who's going to win the election, because of the nature of the tension that I keep feeling when I focus on Trump, this unbelievable sense of being increasingly cornered because of the money he owes, the charges from all of these various different court cases, etc. It makes it very hard for him to campaign. I feel as him like I frequently need to take breaks. I want to go away. I want to go away from this. This is one of the reasons why I think he keeps playing golf. I keep wanting to go and play golf. I want to escape the stress of the situation. And that's interesting to me, because if he does win, he will not stay. He would likely not be able to continue on, and it would be J.D. Vance. That is probably what Peter Thiel and Elon Musk are hoping for, that the old man simply retires, he's given some kind of an out, and then they're able to put Vance in a position. J.D. Vance is basically who they're banking on for president. They're simply using Trump as the person to campaign and to get J.D. Vance in there, and then they will pay him basically to retire. That looks to be what the plan of Elon Musk and Peter Thiel is. And then J.D. Vance is basically going to be owned by Peter Thiel and Elon Musk. All right, so that's basically what I see for October. The best thing we can do going forward is to unify, whether we're in Europe or whether we're in the United States, to rise above politics and to begin thinking in terms of our humanity and how stop waiting for somebody else to do the humane thing. We have to do it ourselves. And ultimately, our own humanity will save us. All right. Thank you, everyone, for watching this remote for predictions for the month of October. If you're trying to get in for a reading with me, I would love to see you. You can book me through Booksy. The information is below this video. It's real easy to do. You just book, and then at the appointed time, I'm going to call you on the phone, and then we're going to have a great conversation. All right. Thank you so much, everyone. Take care of yourselves. Be kind to all so that all will be kind to you. God bless, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.